All right, Glenn is off today. Joe Pags behind the microphone and behind the cameras, I guess. Glad to have you here at the Blaze Studios. And I wonder what we'll talk about today. Anything happened over the weekend? I sort of kept away from news. I didn't pay any attention to anything. Kidding, obviously. The Zimmerman verdict came in. We're going to be spending a lot of time on that today. We've got to spend a lot of time because, man, there are two such very polarized sides in this issue. Was it self-defense? Was it stand your ground? Was it racism? And those are the questions that are being asked. And we're going to ask those today. And we're going to, for the first time during the week anyway, because on the weekend you guys are all, getting your stuff done with your families and working and whatever. But first time during the week, you'll have a chance to sound off as well. Is it even an important case? I've made the case on my radio show that it's not that important. It's Sanford, Florida, where I lived in Florida for 21 years. I've never been to Sanford, Florida. It's a case where there are a couple of guys none of us even knew were involved. None of us really know what happened that night. Many who support Trayvon Martin's side, they think they know what happened. It was racial profiling. And George Zimmerman, he was out to kill a black person that night. Those on the other side say, listen, neighborhood watches are important. Neighborhood watches are vital. Without neighborhood watches, our neighborhoods might not be as safe as they are. George Zimmerman did nothing wrong. Well, he shouldn't have gotten out of the truck, but he did get out of the truck. They told him to stop. They suggested he stop. What really happened in that case? Well, we're going to break down exactly what the result was on Saturday. A result that if you're a thinking person, and most of you are, you wouldn't have been surprised by. It's a result that you should have seen coming a mile away. Should charges have been brought? I actually advocated for charges in this case from day one. Charges because I wanted it to go to court. I wanted due process to happen. And it did. Due process happened. Now, we're not done yet. This isn't over. Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson. The president couldn't find a microphone and a television camera. He offered a written statement. When has he ever given a written statement? That was interesting, I think. But there are angles of the story that we need to talk about. Are they related back to the history of this country, where an entire race of people was enslaved? Does it really relate to that? Does it relate to 1955 or 1963 or 1964 or 1968? Does it really relate back to 1861? Does it relate back to 1610? How far back do we go to find a reason why we should be unhappy about the verdict? Or maybe, just maybe, we take the verdict in, we realize that we've come a long way in this country, and maybe, just maybe, it was a case of mistaken identity. And maybe, just maybe, it was a case of self-defense. And maybe, just maybe, it's gone through the process. Maybe, just maybe, we should realize that this is what it is. It was a horrible event that happened on a night where two people, I think, made a lot of mistakes. One is dead, and one's life has changed forever. We'll talk about that at length. We'll also try to get into some of the madness that's happened in Austin, Texas when it comes to right to life versus pro-choice.